Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And basically, today has been quite an interesting day. I managed to get back to my sleeping habits. It's 4, no, you can't even see it. I want to show you. It's 4:48 a.m. So I just stayed up until now, but for a good cause. I've been yesterday in yesterday's video I was talking about getting started posting on the main channel about AI and everything. And today, I mean, I did not post, but I started working on that video, just making the slides, trying to come up with just a template for the slides so that I can reuse it for any future videos, and like trying to get the colors right. I know it's a small detail, but since I'm gonna be using these slides for hopefully all my videos for in the foreseeable future, I just wanted it to be like coherent and like have a distinct look. I did that. I know. I mean, it's a bit of procrastinating before getting to the actual core of the work, which I seem to be doing a lot of, especially when it comes to this topic. But I think I figured out the the angle at which I'm going to address this and the lens through which I'm going to position my channel. Basically, this comes from as an inspiration from what Alex Hormozy has been doing with stuff that his mission statement for acquisition.com. So his mission statement for acquisition.com is make business education, real business education, available to everyone. And I'm gonna shift that into my own purpose for this main YouTube channel, into make real artificial intelligence education available to everyone. And like basically, this is a breakthrough that I've had today as I started working on my first video on the topic on the main channel. Is that I was thinking like I'm working on this video. I think it's going to be called Machine Learning for Beginners, or like what is machine learning, or something like this. And basically, I was thinking that a lot of the, you know, a lot of the YouTube channels that I'm aware of, or like the people that, I was feeling imposter syndrome about not being as qualified as them. We're focusing too much on the technical community, people that have a computer science background and a mathematical background and all that stuff. But there's this whole world of people who don't have that mathematical and computer science background, that have been hearing about machine learning and artificial intelligence everywhere, but I feel that are being left out of the conversation. And so the thing is that basically people who have a background in machine learning and things like this, they take their knowledge so much for granted. I certainly used to. I mean, I still do unconsciously, obviously. And like once you learn something, you start to take it for granted. And basically, they I don't know, they just don't feel like making content for people who don't have the knowledge that they have. And so they try to make content for people at their level of skill, which is a very, very small subset of people. And there's this whole population that's been not served, or the only people that are serving it are people who are not that qualified in the topic and don't have a deep, deep, deep knowledge of it. So this is where I think I might be valuable, is that I've gone into the deep end of the topic. I really dove deep through my studies and my work and this whole applied science transition and everything like this. I've done the work, so I like I know like some details that probably someone just getting started, or like the people who journalists and things like this don't really understand. But I also I think I'm trying to develop this ability to make things, especially through this Rita Talks channel, where I'm just trying to get myself to talk to a camera and get myself comfortable doing that. Basically, I'm trying to develop uh, like basically this ability to simplify things, and that's also something that I've been working on with my tutoring that I've been doing for the past year, which has been super cool because like I don't realize how much knowledge I have until like I have some student who keeps asking me about stuff, and that stuff comes so easily to me, and it makes me realize, oh my god, I like this stuff that I learned that I now take for granted, that I feel that is like just basic stuff, is stuff that people are struggling to learn, and these people themselves are technical people. They're more technical than like this other basically target population that like the rest of the world. Basically they know how to write a line of code in Python, they know how to do some basic stuff, have a pretty basic at least mathematical understanding. But then there's this whole population that doesn't have that information and that is left out, and that's who I think I need to be making these videos for, because like they're the ones that I think I can help the most. And probably the problem now with AI is that it's gonna be touching everyone's life. It is already touching everyone's life. Like if you're using Google, if you're using a search engine, then you're using AI. If you're using an Alexa or something like this, it's using AI. If basically anything that you now touch in this world has AI in it, and basically most of the population, lot a lot of people in this world have no idea how this thing works, and have no idea that it's being used. And like basically the power of AI right now, as I'm speaking, it's just becoming exponentially more powerful. And we have just this whole portion of the world, which I believe is the majority of the world, don't realize, like don't even know how this stuff is working, don't even realize that this stuff exists, right? They probably do, they've probably heard of it, but they have no idea what it is and how it actually works. And like also something like that's interesting is that even politicians from the, I don't know, there was some stuff happening in the US where they got a lot of the tech CEOs to come in because of the use of AI and data and privacy and stuff like this. Or like basically you had some politicians being completely clueless about how AI works and like how technology works. And these are politicians, these are people who are educated, these are people who have degrees and who are very highly qualified in their field, but they don't have the slightest idea of the workings of this technology that's gonna become, that's already becoming crucial to our day-to-day lives, right? And so my thinking is, how about I target these people? Obviously, they're bigger in number, and I have like a unique, I guess, competitive advantage is that I work for a tech company. I've studied this stuff. I've been training my ability to explain things, and basically my ability to adapt, to like adapt my language to the audience that I'm speaking to. So when I'm with technical people, I directly dive into the technical stuff and don't focus too much on the basics. But when I'm with people who are less experienced and things like this, I try to bring it down to the basics and like just focus on those. I mean, it kind of reminds me of HRV, like heart rate variability. So you want as high a heart rate variability as possible. That means that your heart is able to adapt to whatever is happening in your life. So basically, well, I think it has to do with like sleep, but I mean, it has to do with sleep for sure. But I mean, I think in deep sleep, your heart rate is supposed to drop. And then in REM sleep, so basically we have this 1.5 hour cycles where you go through deep sleep and REM sleep and stuff like this. And so basically your heart rate jumps when you're in REM sleep because you're dreaming. And so basically heart rate variability measures your health when it comes to your heart in its ability to adapt to the sleep stage that it's in. Meaning that the hardest part is not going high, but it's getting back low after having been high. So basically, like when you sleep, having your heart rate drop, which is really hard, like especially when you're stressed, like your heart rate stays high. So a good sign of resting when it comes to health and basically sleep is that your heart rate drops early in the night, and basically that your heart rate adapts to the sleep stage that you're in. So basically, every time you're in deep sleep, it drops really low, and then when you're in REM sleep, then it goes back up because you're dreaming. Then when you go back into deep sleep, it drops again, and all of that stuff. That's a measure of good health. And like I'm drawing a parallel to HRV, but when it comes to knowledge, I'm trying to train myself to become like there's another analogy is like being like a boxer where you can adapt quickly to whatever is happening. And so you can talk to a technical audience, but also talk to a non-technical audience, and basically adapt to the level understanding of your audience. And that's the skill that I'm trying to build. And I think basically by going through the IMSS, and also by like going up and down in the complexity spectrum, like from research papers to explaining the basics of ML, allows you to really build, like really train your brain to really understand all of the moving parts. And that's what gives you the deeper understanding, and basically being forced to move back from one side to the next. Like it gives you more insight, so it will help me understand my work better. I will be able to explain it better to the people on this end, but I will also be able to perform better on this end because I remembered like maybe there's some assumption that I've made that was made at the beginning of something that I forgot about because I'm so deep into the research end that I forget that there is this assumption that's a very basic assumption that I need to question. And I guess like there's so much potential. Like I'm so happy like with the progress in thinking that I've made today. I know the saying, you can think as much as you like, but you need to take action. But I'm working on it, and I think I've I guess I found a chord that I can strike, and I'm really happy with that. And I also like did some digging, and I'm just super happy of having found this conclusion to come to. And also by starting from the beginner, from the perspective of a beginner, I can always build up through the spectrum of expertise. And so I can walk my audience potentially from extreme beginners are not good at math or like don't have a very good mathematical understanding to deeper and deeper levels. And that way, because anyway, this does not alienate the people who have mathematical knowledge and like engineering knowledge and all of that stuff. This keeps it wide so that everyone feels welcome. I mean, obviously, Like I think the people who are a bit more technical won't mind having been reminded of the basics. Whereas if I only just talk about the technical stuff, like there will be this whole spectrum of people who have no idea what I'm talking about, and who will never watch my content just because they have no idea or like no means of understanding what I'm talking about. It's the same as this advertising thing. Is that like basically they like I think it was about some brand that sells mostly for old people for cars. I think it was Volvo or something. They said that basically you see in the ads that Volvo is advertising like they're using young couples and young people to advertise their cars. Like most other car owners were like, I think it was not Volvo. I think it was like some luxury car, like Porsche or something. I think all the luxury car brands do this, where they say, okay, we advertise with young people because basically, even though the people who are have enough means to afford the cars are mostly old people. If they advertise for old people, the young people won't be interested in the car or like won't strive towards trying to get that car. Whereas if they advertise for young people, they're not alienating the old people because the older people don't mind seeing advertisements of young people. But I mean, it's a bit ageist, but I guess that's how society works, is that if you see an advertisement for old people, then you don't feel concerned because you have not been through that stage yet. But if you see an advertisement as an old person for young people, you can still identify with that because that's something that you've been through in your life. So yeah, it's like yeah, I guess that makes sense because to become an expert, you had to begin somewhere. So basically, as long as you're covering the part of the journey that has the most people, the people who are even further down that journey won't mind seeing stuff about something that they've already been through in the past, a learning process. And yeah, that's my thinking at least. But yeah, I was really excited about that, and like I think now that I'm getting closer to uh, like basically having it dialed up and dialed down. And so I think my plan for now, when it comes to the YouTube channel, is basically make videos like explaining basic machine learning AI concepts targeted at people who are really beginners, like don't have any good mathematical understanding, which is like the most majority of people in this world are left unserved or served by the wrong people, I guess. And also like, maybe reading because I read a lot. And also I enjoy reading stuff about AI and machine learning. So maybe having an AI machine learning book club where I can just talk about like maybe some more mainstream books and basically give my take on them as someone who has gone into the deep end of the field. So yeah, I'm just like overall really excited about this. I'm so happy that I made this progress today. So stay tuned. Hopefully tomorrow I will have some good news and hopefully we will have our first video. But yeah, really happy with the progress I've made today on this. I'm so glad I procrastinated a bit for the day, but I think in the evening I was like, okay, let's do this. That's why I'm up until now. It's 5 a.m. now, just because I didn't want to go to sleep without having made some progress on this. So yeah, I'm glad I stayed up. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, I guess right now I'm just gonna go grab some Z's and get some sleep, so that tomorrow we can freaking do this. And I'm just gonna give my like I'm just giving my brain uh, like something to work on during the night. my subconscious brain, I guess. And yeah, hopefully some good ideas will come in. So yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you've had a fantastic day, and whichever time of day it is where you are right now. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, and you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!